Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Like always, my name is Jose Najarro, and today we're just going to take a quick look at what's happening in the overall market. We have some strong earnings this week. I'm super excited. Like always, guys, feel free to post on the comments what you guys want me to take a look at. Remember, none of this is advice as I am nowhere near a professional. So let's just jump right into it. So right now, market is pretty much, flat. I want to say Dow is down about 0.16%. Good morning, Lisa. How's it going? Danny, Nintendo. You want to take a quick look at Nintendo for sure. So Danny, you might be excited about this if you're talking about Nintendo. I've been kind of this whole weekend. I've been doing a lot of research. What's up, Gordon? On the metaverse. I mean, this is a market I've been completely bullish on, and I just have a lot of information. I'm working on a PowerPoint presentation right now of different types of companies in the metaverse. There is this pretty cool infographic on the overall diagram for the overall metaverse, and it includes a lot of gaming companies and a lot of other companies that people might not are familiar with. So the videos like that are going to be coming soon. I'm super excited. What's going on, Chris? Good day. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody had a good time with their families. But now we're back in the market. So like we see, right, Dow is pretty much flat. NASDAQ also flat. S&P 500 is pretty much flat. And this is what you're going to expect, right? Especially when you have weeks like this week, right? You have big earnings week. You have some of the big players. You have AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet, Visa, for example, going tomorrow. So a lot of investors are going to be, I want to say, market is going to be pretty quiet until some of these players report their earnings. Tonight we have Tesla. I'm pretty sure some people might be pretty excited about Tesla's earnings. Personally, I do have a position in Tesla, not a super small position. So neither excited nor not excited for it. I think the one that I was most excited for, which is pretty weird, is Hasbro. I actually just did a video on it last night, and once I looked at this company, it's insane. From my knowledge, AMD usually skyrockets pre-earnings, then drops like a rock after earnings. I feel like that has been a trend, Danny. Definitely. I think for long-term investors, that really doesn't mean anything, right? So for me, I normally that's true, right? There are normal occasions where AMD usually just skyrockets during pre-market, pre-earnings, and then it drops. But for me, as a long-term investor, I don't normally play like that. I know there might be some people who are swing traders that might be interesting to take a look at, right, Danny? But for me, long-term investor, I really don't try to take a look at stuff like that. David, what's going on, David? Yeah, I saw Ice Skater. Pretty crazy on Hasbro, right? Insane. The company did report earnings today, and the stock price is up, I believe. Hasbro stock is up 9.2%. This is insane. Obviously, analysts looked at my video yesterday. They're gonna update the prices. What's going on, Sergio? David, Generac will be interested 100% as a swinger. I look for stuff like that, but also as long term. I agree, Danny. So that's good, right? It's good that you kind of have a two level or distinguish the two between the swinger and a long term holds. I'm almost 99% long trader. It's good to notice stuff like that. I just like to see how the market reacts. But most of the time, I just do it to learn. Danny agreed about AMD usually going down after earnings more than 1 out of 2 of the times in the last few years. But it's also had some earnings where it moved 7 to 10% after. I mean, AMD, we can take a quick look at that one. What's going on, Fizz? But let me take a quick look at the overall map. Let me just see. I know this map is about 15 minutes behind, but pretty much quiet, like, right? That's what you expect. Big tech, Microsoft down 0.65. We have consumer Apple up 0.6. Pretty much just flat for the day right now. Intel is the one of the few greens right now, but they did have a crazy down after their most recent earnings, which I think they dropped about 5 point something percent in one day. So Intel up 1.63%. So Ab, my apologies, Ab. I'm just gonna your thoughts on SoFi. So I do enjoy SoFi, and Umesh. Your thoughts on APPH? We can take a quick look at some. Just remind me, guys, when we take a quick look at stocks. No thoughts on it right now, Umesh. That's not one I follow too much, but we can take a quick look at their fundamentals. What else? Ab, SoFi, I enjoy it, right? I do think the fintech market, that one's continuing to see strong revenue growth. Um, and still continues to see strong revenue growth. And the products that they have, they're expanding, right? So I like SoFi, especially if it's around the mid-teens. What is the stock price right now? I just want to take a quick look. I don't own it. Around 16, right? I don't own it. Let's say someone was forced to buy this in my portfolio right now. I wouldn't be upset about it, and I wouldn't sell it right away, right? It's definitely not a company I wouldn't mind holding it. So SoFi, I like it, especially at these levels, right? I do believe this is a strong support level for the company. We can see right now the 15, that 15 line is a good support. It's bounced off there numerous times. So right now, I do believe a good portion of the risk has been eliminated. Doesn't mean it's a good investment, right? Stock prices can continue to go down, but I like it at this levels in both forms of fundamentals and technicals. Hey, Jose, what's going on, Pilot? Hope you're doing good. Big weeks of earnings ahead. Excited. Yes, I am super excited as well, Pilot. I mean, my favorite ones, I definitely know the ones I'm going to do are going to be AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet. Those are for sure on Tuesday. Ones I enjoy the most, those are markets I'm familiar with. On Wednesday, I'm definitely going to hit that Shopify. I'm going to hit that Spotify. On Wednesday before market opens, after market close, definitely hitting that Facebook, hitting that PayPal, maybe hitting that Qualcomm, maybe hitting that Ford, right? Ford, I don't have the automobile industry, but I like to take a look at what Ford is doing just to give me an overall insight of especially the semiconductor shortage in the automobile industry. In Thursday, ServiceNow, I don't follow, Gordon, but maybe I should take a quick look at it if you might recommend it. CHKP, I forget what that one is, Gordon. Maybe you can remind me. Thursday, I might take a quick look. Thursday, I think is going to be pretty slow for me in Monday morning. I might just kind of do something that I might have missed throughout the week. But after close, we have something super fun. We have Amazon, we have Pinterest, we have Twilio, we have Skyworks, we have Upwork, right? Those are companies I'm familiar with, I understand, and I've done plenty of videos on. Friday is probably going to be a day where I just kind of go back and do something I might have missed. So that's, I mean, I'm pretty sure the week is pretty much packed for me. But I'm super excited. Chinese companies down. Presley, yes, that's big news right now, right? We have Tencent. I have to take a quick look at my portfolio. Chinese stocks are down, right? And that's why, even though I've talked about it, right? I've talked that I like the Chinese, I like the international market. I do have positions in Chinese stocks, but for reasons like that, Chinese market exposure is not that big, right? So you're able to play both ways, right? So you're able to be bullish in that country or in international market, but at the same time be able to play it somewhat safe. So right now I haven't really looked at any stocks to buy. Maybe perhaps silly questions. What do you mean hitting those stocks earnings report? Chris, I mean that I'm gonna just do a video on them. Some of them I'm gonna do, like, for example, tomorrow after the market closes, I'll probably do AMD and Microsoft together, or maybe AMD and Google together. So I'm gonna do videos on them this week. So that's what I mean, Chris. So if there's any stocks you want me to take a look at or do a video on earnings, I'm not sure how familiar you are with me, Chris. I do a lot of I want to say recent news, fundamental analysis on companies, and just share my overall thoughts. So I get super excited when earnings come out. Pilot, wow, a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of videos, right? Appreciate, I value your assessment. Thank you. Appreciate the support, Pilot. You definitely helped out a lot. Good morning. Flying on that Coinbase moon. Is Coinbase flying right now? What's happening? Is it? I know. I know Amazon earlier today up 10%. Pretty. It's just the overall Bitcoin crypto market going up. Let me just see. Bitcoin price. Yeah, so it kind of jumped up a lot. Is this after Amazon reported that they are creating their own cryptocurrencies? I think it was reported today. Yeah, Amazon rumored to accept Bitcoin by the end of 2021. And then they are by the end of 2020 develop their own currency by 2022. Supposedly, I haven't really looked at it, but supposedly they kind of have job opportunities right now, openings for blockchain leaders and stuff like that. So we can see, I mean, Amazon is definitely trying to be one of everything. So super excited about that. I don't have Amazon in my portfolio, But let's see how Amazon stock has done right now. So pretty insane, right? It's actually up 1.1% on that news. I wouldn't have thought something like that would drive this huge company that big, right? It's almost getting to that $2 trillion market cap. That is insane. And guys, Gordon, what's going on, Gordon? You see CHKP earnings is out, but price also dropped. It's a competitor of Cisco. Security software, ServiceNow. Is that what it is? CHKP stock? Checkpoint Software Technologies is down about 3.3%. Result earnings are out. Maybe we can take a quick look at this one, Gordon, for sure. David Becker, Ford and GM arguing over the name Cruise for the self-driving stuff. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty insane. David Becker. So I don't follow those Ford or GM too much. I do like them. Especially Ford. I like Ford, right? I do, even though it's not in my position. I did earnings on them last quarter, and I really like how they're kind of moving into the EV market, and I feel like people were sleeping on them. Now EV stock, Ford stock price has kind of really jumped up the roof. I guess people are now excited about the EV market for this company, but I don't think people should sleep on Ford right now. Normally not a stock I would invest in. I personally don't think I'm going to invest anytime soon, but it's one that I definitely wouldn't sleep on. So let's see. What else do we have here? Polly, good morning. Flying Coinbase, we saw that. David, Jose does the legwork. Someone like me is too lazy to do. Ah, man, I hope I provide some value, right, David? And hopefully my legwork is somewhat useful. Shakaz, did you do TTD yet? If not, TTD, please. I haven't looked at it yet. Shakaz, we can definitely take a look at it. First, I think we'll start off with CHKP. I think that was the first one. Or actually, it was Nintendo. I think Nintendo was the first one. Then it will be CHKP. Then we can kind of jump into TTD. And feel free, guys. Sergio actually wants to take a look at VIPS. So, guys, thank you. We'll definitely try to look at all of them. So, yeah, man, David, Hasbro, I think it's insane. And that one is another one that's boring, I want to say, and people are definitely sleeping on it. Let's see. Breezy, CZIV is lucid now, but it said the stock is listed now in Webull. That is pretty weird, Breezy. Let's see. Lucid stock, motor stocks. CCIV. It could be just David, who was it, Breezy? It could just, I would definitely say email Webull to find out what's happening. But if anything, it could also be like, hey, while the change is happening, sometimes it might take a day or two. Not impossible for that to happen. But definitely try to get in contact with someone at Webull to just check it out. But let's see, CCIV. So it's not there anymore. But it's not as Lucid Motors. This is insane. Pretty weird. It's definitely something to keep an eye out. Definitely try emailing them, reaching and find out. Let me take a quick look at what's happening in my portfolio right now. So right now, the biggest ones that are down for me, unfortunately, are my Chinese stocks. Again, not big exposure, but I definitely do have a nice exposure of Tencent, of JD, PTD, and NIU. I think those are the four main players I own. LCID is LCID. Oh, it is. It's still there. Okay, so Churchill. It is traded under the Nasdaq as LCID. Thanks for that. And usually takes a while to change. So Chris, yeah, who was it? Breezy. So David definitely mentioned there. He says the new ticker is LCID. And usually takes a while for change. TD has it already. Yeah, sometimes it does. Like for example, with the Nvidia split. It took some time before my broker kind of gave me those shares, and it was kind of in the limbo for some time. I know it worked for it. It also happened to RizFizz. He was negative like 8K, I think, for some time because of the shares missing. But let's see. So, Chris, you've been a subscriber for over 3 months now. Appreciate the support. Following from NC, is that New Zealand? If so, that's insane. Tune into your live streams a couple of times before, even though they are 2 a.m. like now. Love your videos. Chris, I appreciate the support, man. Remember, all of this is recorded, so you don't even have to stay awake, Chris. Since it is 2 a.m. for you, what is there any stock you wanted to take a quick look at, Chris? You did mention, okay, will Hasbro continue to grow, even jumping 9% in the last day? So I do think so, right? So Hasbro, I mean, it's up right now to $100. I mean, I personally, let's say I like the company. If I was to invest in it right now after this big jump, I don't think I would jump really big, right? I would, especially here in the United States, we have free investment and we have fractional trading, so that allows me to open up with a small position. There's certain countries, maybe in New Zealand, you might not have free trading or you might not have fractional investing. I think if that's the case, I personally, not advice, but I personally wouldn't get into a big position in Hasbro right now. I do think it might be a nice overreaction over the earnings right now. So something that, hey, it might provide better earnings, in better price entry in the next few months. But I do think in the long term of things, Hasbro looks pretty interesting, especially with all the markets they do. Do you use M1 Finance, Danny? No, I use Fidelity. Fidelity is the broker I use. I used to use yeah, so Polly, exactly. Has already has already run. Man, you're giving me a tongue twister. Has already run. Wait for wait for next opportunity. Agrees, Polly. So agree. If I didn't have fractional or free trading, Hasbro, kind of hold off, put it on the watch list. If it drops a nice amount, I wouldn't mind getting into it. If I did have those ability of fractional free trading, even a small position wouldn't really hurt. You're going to make a video about the metaverse. Really interested in that now, Danny. Oh man, the metaverse. It's. I just feel like my whole portfolio. This is how crazy bullish I am about the metaverse, right? I feel like I'm looking at my portfolio. I might start selling companies that I don't think will affect that market. And I really want to go heavy in the metaverse. I feel like, I mean, obviously the metaverse includes everything from fintech, from cloud, from infrastructure, from software companies. So even the metaverse portfolio can be hitting so many strong markets. But I think that's where I'm gonna be mainly focusing on. I'm really bullish in that market right now, and it's pretty interesting what I'm reading right now. So hopefully those videos come out soon. I'm gonna do them little bit by little, just so I don't overwhelm everybody with too much information. Pilot Poncho, one of the very few companies I have bought that I don't personally know, and now I'm paying the price. Lesson learned. So that anyone know why Billy dropping so much? Just China risk, maybe to do with educational platform crackdown to NPO. So I do think so, right? So Pilot, definitely the main reason, right? It's just the Chinese risk. Right now, we've had a lot of news about the Chinese market. First, the educational. Well, recently was the educational thing on Friday, which has companies like T Edu, or what was it? T Educational. I forget. What is that company? Education Chinese stocks. I forget what that company was. That dropped about 70%. But there. So huge market, right? This is down huge. Tao, thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Tao. I knew it started with an L. So Tao stock, right, is down right now is 6%, but in the past month has dropped 75%. So huge volatility in the Chinese stocks. You have companies like Baba right now down. What is it? Down 4%. You have companies like JD down 3.3%. So Pilot right now, Billy, mainly Chinese risk dropping so much, having to do with just the overall crackdowns happening. So I do think this market is going to be very volatile, especially in these next few weeks, as I feel like every single week there's something new coming out within this market. Yeah, it's dropped like crazy, right? I mean, at the moment, I'm not, like I said, I have small position, about 10-15% in China exposure. I don't even think it's as big as 15, maybe around 10. Have no intentions of selling, especially the companies I own. I think in the future, I might only be focusing on one company, and that's going to be Tencent. Even though Tencent, I want to say, is one that's going to be very affected by it because they are very into the digital market, into the fintech market, the educational market, and that's the market that's getting hit. I still like them for the gaming market. So Tencent, I feel like it's probably one of the riskier big giants to play right now in China, but it's one I don't mind enjoying over the long term of things. RM, I want to reset my portfolio. So you want to hit the reset, or you want to just kind of create a new portfolio, RM? So Gordon, Techie is a large, not sure what that Congo, not sure what that means. I'm gonna have to Google that. 222. I might put a couple hundred into Baba, just such a good price in my opinion right now, but I'm kind of scared at the same time. Danny, when one, I mean, I personally, when I ever feel scared of a price at the stock, I personally would not. Good morning, good morning. A lot of hype behind the New World this past weekend. David Silva. I wonder if you're my Dave Silva. I have a friend called Dave Silva, but I don't know if that's you. If it is you, pretty cool. If not, then well, welcome, David. Perhaps. Okay. Well, I'll take your question in a bit. But let's see. I might put a couple. So, Danny, you might put a couple of hundred in Baba, but you're saying you're a bit scared. To me personally, I mean, if I'm ever scared of a position because of a price, I normally stay away. Because what ends up happening is the stock price is most likely going to drop a little bit more. And because I already had that fear on the stock price, it will drop a little bit more. And when it drops a little bit more, I'm gonna get even more scared out, and I'll probably sell for a loss. So normally, if I'm already kind of scared on it, I normally stay away from it. So good morning, Jose. Thoughts on Amazon earnings coming up and Amazon games coming out with New World soon? A lot of hype behind New World. In this past weekend, it was number 3 on Twitch with 200,000 viewers. So New World, I mean, I've heard about the game, New World game. Let's see. What is the Amazon Lumberyard? I have never heard of that. After years of failure, Amazon's New World looks like its first hit. I did not know Amazon was, I mean, I knew they were doing that Luna thing with their with the cloud gaming. I think it was Luna. I did not know Amazon had a form of engine as well. Amazon Lumberyard. Is this actually owned by Amazon? Yes, it is. Fully customizable game engine. This is interesting for sure. So Amazon Lumberyard now in developer preview, open 3D engine. As we begin building the successor. Wow, this is insane. So first, this is brand new to me. Amazon Lumberyard. I actually want to see something. Metaverse. Infographics. I want to see if it's here. So give me one quick second, guys. Lumberyard. So it's not even here yet. So this is infrastructures. Here I would have expected to see engines. So Amazon's Lumberyard I would have expected to see here. But this is brand new to me. All right, so this is pretty good. Thanks, Dave, for kind of bringing that up. Now, the overall gaming market, right? So Amazon, we know Amazon, compared to where the revenue is at, I don't think it's really going to affect Amazon's earnings, right? I mean, I do think right now we're still seeing huge growth of the e-commerce, and that's pretty much where Amazon makes its money. I do think this is pretty interesting for sure that Amazon has their own lumberyard, their own game engine. I don't think this game is gonna make any news. I actually don't even think they're gonna even talk about it during their earnings. But Amazon is all over the place, right? Amazon Lumberyard, which just came out, and what we were just talking about earlier this morning, Amazon is rumored to accept Bitcoin by the end of 2021, and they're also under the development of their own cryptocurrency. So I mean, Amazon earnings are when? Thursday, right? Thursday after close. Let's take a quick look at the overall price. Let's see. I mean, Amazon has been pretty quiet for, I want to say, a few months, right? For a lot of months, right? It was trading around this point for about a year, I want to say, and it finally broke out. So it might be looking good for Amazon earnings. Another position I don't have, one of the big players I don't have, but I wouldn't mind holding. But yeah, pretty interesting. I didn't know Amazon was entering that development phase. So Pilot, I absolutely love Tencent. My will hold them for life or until delisted. They are in everything and good at it. Also very into. So one thing about Tencent though, Pilot Poncho is it's traded over the counter, right? It is traded over the counter. So it's not, I don't think, it doesn't have the high probability of being delisted. Like some of these other companies, right? And I'm pretty sure most of these companies like Baba, I think that one's traded under the New York Stock Exchange. If it does get delisted, it'll probably just start trading over the counter. And And I mean, Tencent has done perfectly fine over the counter. So if some of these companies go delisted from the normal market, I'm pretty sure you'll find them over the counter. Do you think buying Hong Kong Excellent Exchange is better than UX Exchange for Chinese stocks? Idea. RM, honestly, no opinion on that. I don't personally buy Hong Kong Exchange. Maybe, I mean, I'm guessing if you're trying to think, hey, if they are going to be dislisted in the US, they're most likely not going to get delisted in US in the Hong Kong exchange. So that might be a possibility. Again, I don't have such a huge position in Chinese stocks to really like take a matter of look at that. At the moment, I don't mind holding them in New York Stock Exchange or in the over the counter. Maybe there might be some pros to invest to kind of holding them RM in the Hong Kong exchange. So definitely try to Google that for sure. But for me, definitely no opinion. Let's see what else. Sava, what's going on? Cool Box Sava. I'm not sure what that stock is. Let's take a look at Sava. It's up 2.4%. Cassava Science. Normally, I mean, they are headquarters in Texas. Super small market cap, $5.06 billion. Not one I'm familiar with, but maybe you can share a little knowledge with us, Cool Box. William Ox, where is Nvidia going? Is it just split? So it's just split. So is the party over? I don't think the party is over for Nvidia in the long term of things, right, William? So the long term of things, I think in like 4 or 5 years, Nvidia is gonna be looking. It looks so cheap right now when I think about 4 or 5 years from now. Maybe in the next 5 months, maybe in the next 4 to 6 months, the party might be over. Honestly, I don't know. That's such a short term, right? I do think in the short term it's gonna be very, very volatile. So it'll be a crazy party. In the long term, 5 years, Nvidia this is a company I will not be surprised it hits a $1 trillion market cap within the next 3 to 4 years. So 100% gainer in about 3 years. I'm pretty bullish on it. How about the next 2 weeks? Very short. In the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna say it's gonna look just how it looked in the past month. Very volatile, right? You had some strong updates. You also had some days where it dropped a nice 3 amount. Right now, the biggest thing for Nvidia is definitely Anson. Hello, sir. Are you still holding Celsius? Oh yes, I'm holding Celsius long term. Don't think about selling that. Celsius eventually, I believe, is going to start paying me dividends more than what I pay for the stock. That's why I'm holding Celsius. Eventually, Celsius is going to be such a huge moneymaker for me. Good for scalping Nvidia or not so much. So, William, I'm more of a long-term investor. Jose, put the Discord out for the new people. Oh my gosh. Freaking David Becker coming in clutch right there. So hold on, give me 1 second, Jose, guys. I'll give you guys, since you guys are here, I'll give you access to my Discord group for free. So make sure to join, guys. We have a lot of great investors there. A lot of people that like to talk about stocks. We also share pictures of dogs sometimes. I mean, that's what I've been seeing in food. So if you enjoy stocks, dogs, or food, definitely check out the Discord channel. Kian, we can definitely take a quick look at that in a second. But William, like I was saying, right, the overall short term, I can't tell you, right? I definitely don't trade like that. Not my investment styles, for sure. So David Becker, Breezy, I have a lot of automaker stocks, huge potential in them. Man, Breezy, Lucid now running up 15%. Nice. I mean, after that merger, ASML, Arjun, ASML analysis, please. So Arjun, I mean, sometimes I've done some of the work already. So I did take a look at ASML right here. So, sometimes I'm ahead of you guys. All right. So let's see. This is for you, Anson. Who was it? No, who was it? Arjun. Take a quick look at that video. I talk about ASML after their earnings. Feel free to let me know what you think, right? But that's my overall thoughts on ASML. I do like it, definitely like it. Pretty interesting company for sure. Let's see, Great Point Pilot over the counter. So I mean, I do think they can still kind of they're still might pilot on over the counter traded companies. I think it's a little bit harder to get barred by being traded by foreigners. I think at that point it most likely has to be kind of delisted some form within itself. within its main market. It's possible. I think the risk of it happening is a lot lower compared to it being delisted from like one of the major exchange. Thanks for your thoughts on Amazon Games. It was all new to me as well, and thought you would be interested to hear about it. Thank you, David. I appreciate it, man. You're the best. No, it definitely was pretty new, right? I did not know Amazon had their own engine. Now I'm kind of interested on how I want to say that's huge competition for Unity if Amazon is creating their own engine. And it's definitely I want to look a little bit more into it. Sergio, joined the Discord. Appreciate, man. Sergio, I know some of you guys keep talking about stocks. I have a lot of chatter right now, which I appreciate, guys. Appreciate the support from you guys. So I might have missed a few stocks you guys want me to take a look at. Feel free to, again, share them on the comments, and I'll do. So how about Cat? So Cat, I mean, definitely not a company I'm ever excited to hold. It doesn't mean it's a bad investment. It's just not a stock I personally would own right now. Maybe it might be how I looked at Hasbro, right? Sometimes boring companies are boring until you really start to look at them. So Cat right now, I want to say stock price based on my technicals, not overextended at all. So I do believe a good portion of the risk has been eliminated. Obviously, that doesn't mean the stock price is going to go down. Sergio, remind me the stock you want to take a look at. I know I kind of skipped on you with Cat. So just post it on the comments again. So Caterpillar right now, if we take a quick look at, why are you not working? Open image, new tab. Access denied. All right, I have to, not sure why I don't have access right now to this. I'll have to check that out in a bit. But let's take a quick look at Simply Wall Street. So Cat, what do I expect with Cat? I don't expect a company that's growing at crazy levels. So future growth, this company is expected to grow 9.8%. That's actually not too bad. But it does seem like it was affected a lot heavily due to COVID situations. So kind of the slowdown is going to pick back up. 9.8%, not that bad. They are profitable in earnings. They are positive in cash flow from operations. If you take a quick look, do they pay a dividend? Yes, they give you a nice around 2% dividend. If you take a look at their financial health, this is a company that's going to be leveraged. That's okay because of the fundamentals that they have. They probably own a lot of factories or manufacturing plants based on the automobile or the trucks and trailers that they provide. So a lot of their assets are going to be here. Fundamentally, they look okay, right? I like their fundamentals. I like their technicals. What I'm just not a huge fan of is just the market, and for that reason, it's not a company I personally would own. So yeah, but I like it in forms of technicals and in form of fundamentals. So let me take a quick look why this isn't working for me. Pretty weird. All right, I have to look at this later on. Sergio, okay, and then we got Danny. All right, so Sergio, you want to take a look at VIPS. Not familiar with that stock at all. I think you mentioned it might have been a Chinese stock. So let's take a look. VIPS stock. Infrastructure bill is coming soon though, so that might be a huge. Oh, very true, right? For F. I don't know why I keep calling you Ford. Maybe it's because you have the ticker. But what's going on, SB? Twilio, we can take a look at that one, SB. I want to say, if I don't follow it too much, again, not a market I'm too interested on, but very true, right? The infrastructure bill can definitely help out a company like that. I don't know if it'll be a huge catalyst. It's already a huge company. I think deals like that are very good for small companies, right? For small companies where they can increase their revenues at crazy levels. Cat is already a big company, so the infrastructure could be good. SB, I actually just did Roblox in my 6 stocks to buy this upcoming week. So SB, if you want to look at Roblox, that one I've recently did on Saturday. And Kiam, Pubmatic. All right, Pubmatic, Kiam. I definitely, you guys, I'll remember. I'll try to remember and get you guys as soon as I can. So first, VIP Shop. What can we see? This is a super small company. Market cap of 11.47 billion. What do they provide? So VIP is a Chinese company that operates in the e-commerce website VIP.com, specializing in online discount sales. VIP shop is based out of Gangsu. So right off the bat, this is already a super small company, right? $11.47 billion. If I let me just tell you my overall thoughts, Sergio. Normally, Chinese stocks at these levels, I don't like to invest in. I've only done it twice, I think, and the once I got burnt. The first time was, I think, I've done it a few times, 3 times. With Huya, I don't mind Huya, right? That's a market I'm super, super bullish. So the first thing is I would have to be super, super bullish in this market. Huya, I'm super bullish. The second time was on Niu, that is EV scooters, super bullish in that. And the third one was these Lunkin Coffee. I wasn't bullish in that market, but I saw the huge growth. So I got burned in that one. Normally, small companies like this, I try to stay away. Let's take a quick look at what's happening in the overall fundamentals. Future growth. Company is expected to grow 12.9% on average for the next 2 to 5 years. They're positive in earnings, positive in cash flow from operations. They have strong financial health, right? They have no debt to their name, strong balance sheet. And let me take a quick look at ownership, right? So their insider, CEO, and co-founder owns about 11.5% of the business. Tencent also owns 9%, and JD also owns 7%. So you can see big players own it right now, Sergio. But I mean, at this level, I personally would enjoy, right? This was growing expected to grow 12.9. I would personally, if I want to get into the e-commerce, I would personally just go with JD, right? It's expected to grow at stronger levels. It's more, I want to say, a more known company, and they're kind of innovating in huge growth as well. So personally, I would enjoy JD a little bit more than VIPS, just because VIPS is so small, and I think with super small Chinese companies, that's where a lot more risk is there. Overall, stock price, right? I want to say valuation, technicals is not looking half bad. A good portion of the risk has been eliminated, but we don't know, especially with what's happening right now in the China market. This can continue to go down, right? So yeah. And guys, appreciate the support. Give me one quick second. Clear your browser cache, boy. Thanks, Chris. That might work, right? On that on the Y charts. I'll do that after. Thank you. Sounds like a great time in the Discord. Love food, love cars, love dogs. Awesome. You're gonna enjoy it, Chris. Definitely. Thanks for the. So it's not advice, right, Sarah? Here's just my overall thoughts. Arjun, Baba, is it a good buy? I mean, I don't own Baba. I mean, right now with everything going on in the market, I'm only really focusing on certain stocks. Baba's not one of them, right, Arjun? I mean, there's so much volatility right now. I think if you want to invest in the Chinese markets at this level, you guys have to understand the risk, right? It's stock prices can continue to go down. It can get a lot more uglier. It can get uglier before it gets pretty, right? So before investing in any Chinese stocks, you have to sit down and be like, oh, am I gonna be okay if things get a lot uglier than it is now? And if that's the case, then maybe you should start looking at it. But if you're like, no, I don't want it to get uglier, then definitely a market I would try to stay away with. Again, I'm not planning on selling any of my Chinese shares, but at the moment, not planning on buying anything soon. Maybe 10 cents. That's the only maybe. So let's see. I kind of missed. Let's see. I feel like I missed some people. Feel free to post again. Let's see. Kiam, I missed Kiam. Kiam was a little bit ahead of you. Actually, SB, you are a member. I can't do that to you. So thank you for the support. I'm gonna take a quick look at Twilio. Appreciate the support of you being a member, SB. So let's take a quick look at Twilio. Hopefully you're still here. So first, Twilio, do I think it's going to 100 billion? Yes. I don't know when. I do think Twilio is a huge company right now. After that Zoom acquisition of whatever it was called, 5.9. They're somewhat of a competitor to Twilio right now. So definitely something to keep an eye out though. Twilio, we have to see how that acquisition of Zoom and 5.9, smart acquisition, one I have to do a little more digging up into. Twilio though, I really like the company. 69 billion right now. I mean, they provide products for people developing applications and products. So I enjoy it, right? Twilio is one I enjoy a lot. Let's take a quick look at technicals. Right now, I would say the stock price is a bit overextended. So there is a higher chance of volatility. It doesn't mean a pullback is going to happen. I just believe the chances is a lot higher. I've definitely been buying Twilio a little bit ahead of time. When was the last time? Let's see. Discord channel. Let's see. Overall accounts. I was buying Twilio, I want to say, so I bought some on June. When else was I buying Twilio? I was buying it in May. I was buying it in definitely in March. So March was one of the times when I was buying Twilio a lot. So I bought Twilio at least 3 times in March. And let's see March right now. So March was when the stock price wasn't overextended. That's when I like to purchase my stocks, right? So I do believe Twilio could give us better buying opportunities in the future. But I do like it as a long-term hold. I mean, if we take a look at Simply Wall Street, let's see, Simply Wall Street, Twilio right now, huge growth, right? Super $70 billion market cap or so, expected to grow 23.6%. The company is positive in free cash flow from operations, not positive in earnings right now. Normally with software-based companies, that's what you expect. Strong financial health, right? Plenty of cash, a little bit of debt on their balance sheet. So Twilio, I like it as a long-term. I do believe it's going to be very, very volatile, SB. So a yellow flag for me is that volatility. The second yellow flag for me for it would be it's overextended. And another one would be the acquisition that Zoom just had with Five9. Something to take a closer look at, as it might bring some form of competition. Not a big competition, but some form of competition. So no thoughts of selling Twilio, no thoughts on buying at the moment. I think it could give us better buying opportunities in the future, but at the same time, I'm happy with it. And SB, thank you so much for the support. I'm happy you are a member of the things. And next time I'll remember, right? Usually, if you are a member, I'll try to look at your stocks first. Breezy, thoughts on? Actually, let's take a quick look at Kiam. Right, Kiam has been here. Kiam, I hope you're still here. Let me know if you are, and we'll take a quick look at and Danny. Actually, Danny, how can I forget Danny? So let's take a look at Nintendo, and then we're gonna look at the other one. So Nintendo, I mean, I don't know why I keep saying Nintendo. It's because of that. Nintendo, I really like it, right? Nintendo, if you know me, super bullish in the gaming market. I mean, Nintendo, I feel like once virtual reality becomes such a huge player. All right, Kiam, I promise, Kiam. Unless there is a next member, if after Nintendo, we'll take a look at yours. So once virtual reality becomes big, once this kind of whole metaverse world becomes super big, I think Nintendo has huge potential. I mean, they have so much strong IP. Imagine being able to play like a MMO Pokemon game. I think that would be insane. That would be insane, right? I mean, it is. Imagine being able to put on headsets, or virtual reality glasses, and just being able to go play a Pokemon game. Being able to do Super Mario Party, right? Super Mario Party, Mario Kart Racing. They have such strong IP. Star Fox. I forget who else they have. But Nintendo, I like it. I like it at this levels. This is not a stock I believe would give a lot of crazy returns. But at the same time, I also don't believe this is a stock that will move too much. VR Pokemon, right, Danny? I mean, I think it's insane how this can kind of go. If we take a look at fundamentals, right now, Nintendo, right, future growth. They're not expected to grow their revenues much. I mean, I wouldn't really take a look at that. They are releasing new games. I think it's because they're just releasing the new Nintendo Switch. So this is what happens with gaming companies. Gaming companies kind of like, they have strong revenue growth when they release new games, when they release new systems, and then they kind of see a decline after that because everybody's buying it at the beginning. Obviously, revenue is going to continue to go up, but it's more like a sine wave kind of moving up, moving in the upward trend. So they don't expect much future growth in Nintendo. I think this is being very, very conservative by analysts. I agree with Polly. Nintendo could be a brand equal to Disney, for sure. I think Nintendo just released their first park in Japan, I believe, Polly. So they're kind of expanding into that market. So what do you get with Nintendo? You get a company, strong IP, strong financial health. They have no debt to their name. I want to see if after they release this new, they did just launch the Nintendo World in Japan, I believe. I want to see if this creates a form of debt, right? Because theme parks are super expensive. So I want to see how. I mean, this is pretty crazy, right? This is probably pretty expensive. So I want to see if that increased the overall debt. If it didn't, I think this would be bullish. So I like Nintendo as a gaming stock in the future. They still don't have many mobile games, right? I mean, you don't see them having like a Super Mario game. Imagine a Super Smash Brother games for the mobile where it's more like free to play, but they have like loot boxes and stuff like that. I think Nintendo can do so much with the gaming market, especially in the mobile world right now, and make a lot of money. So I like Nintendo. Not one I own right now, but I wouldn't mind owning it. Uh, what's going on, Fizz? Back off from mornings. Is Corsair very undervalued in your opinion? I like Corsair and the value it's at, Karan. I do think it's, and we'll look Pubmatic next for, I promised Kiam next. We'll look at Pubmatic next. But I like Corsair where it's at, right? I mean, I don't know if it's completely undervalued or very, very undervalued. I do believe it is undervalued, though. Loot boxes, a gamer. Yes, it does suck. It does suck, unfortunately, for gamers. But as an investor, it's not the worst thing, right? I think there has to be a perfect balance between it, between the two. So let's take a quick look at Pubmatic. So Pubmatic is in the ad tech market. For those not familiar, the ad tech market is one I'm very, very bullish on. With the new releases, right, we're doing the streaming, we're doing a lot of mobile games, we're doing a lot of mobile applications. All these kind of ad techs is hitting that. In the future metaverse, you are going to need to be able to advertise within the metaverse and future online gaming, right? So Pubmatic, I think, is strong growth. Is in a strong market. Future growth, they're expected to grow 18.8% on average. Positive in earnings, positive in cash flow from operations. Financial health, they have no debt, plenty of cash, $110 million cash compared to debt. They are a super small company, $1.6 billion. And ownership, I do want to say, we can see, right, it does seem like venture capital and private equity firms own a good portion of it, about 44%. So, Kiam, I do like Pubmatic. I don't have it in my portfolio. Let's take a quick look at the stock, right? I like the market is in right now. I want to say it's not overextended. I believe it's sitting at attractive levels. I personally own apps and Magnite right now to kind of enter the ad tech market. But those are the two I owned. I wouldn't mind holding Pubmatic if someone was to buy it in my portfolio. James, what's going on? Voo ooh ooh. Is that the S&P 500? Voo ooh ooh, man. So James, this is a market. All right, Jose. Thanks for the live stream. I'm catching some sleep. Chris, appreciate the support, man. Have a good night's sleep. Don't stay up too late. Remember, these are recorded, so you can always pick it up later. So VU, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. If I wasn't an avid investor like I am right now, ETFs, especially ones in the S&P 500, are ones I would get into, right? Right, James? I think for most investors that don't have time to really do research or anything, I'm pretty sure there's going to be years where the S&P is going to outperform me like crazy. But I do think in the long term, if taking a look at long terms, I do believe my portfolio will outperform it. And that's my overall hopes, right? Maybe some years I might, but in the long term, my compounded annual growth rate would be stronger. VU, I think, is great for people that, hey, want to work, make their money work, and not really focus in the market. For example, SPY. There's a lot of other ETFs that I like. So VU, for example, if my dad, if my mom, if my brother come up to me and be like, Jose, what are some stocks I should buy? I'll be like, hey, you don't really look at the market too much. Take a look at some ETFs in the index funds like VU, like SPY. So those are just my overall thoughts, not advice, right? Overall, I mean, a bit overextended, but that could be said for like the past years, for like the past forever, right? I mean, look at that. It's just been trending up. Obviously, there's always talks that it's going to go down. I've heard talks about that many, many times in the past. Not trying to time the market. Time in the market is much better. So SB, I am thinking of buying TED for some time. The last quarter was not the great in terms of growth, but I like the company and its mission. Do you think it's a good stock to buy for long term? So I do have positions SB in TDoc right now. And Aaron, I did see your questions. My apologies, I might have missed it. I'll answer them. So TDoc, I like it in forms of technicals. I do own a small position. I like it at the levels right now. Definitely enjoy it at the levels it's at right now. Obviously, not much growth this past quarter. I want to say just like a lot of these other companies like Netflix, like a lot of these subscriptions, they kind of got the bulk end in last year, right, of that growth. So I do think these next few quarters are going to be a lot slower growth. The real question is how they will do in the upcoming year, next year. I think is the better question. I think this whole year is pretty much going to be slow for a lot of these companies. The real question is how they're going to do in the year following after this. And if you believe they're going to be strong next year, then I do think TikTok is sitting at attractive levels. If you think this slowness is here to stay forever, then maybe not. I believe this year will be slow. The upcoming years won't. Right now, I like it at these levels. I'm not buying any right now. I have other interests like the metaverse, like gaming, other companies I enjoy a little bit more than TikTok at the moment. Danny, all about compound interest later on in life. Danny, 100%, 20% of your portfolio's ETF originally was about 70% when I started. Danny, that's a great way, right? I mean, especially when you're starting off, I do think a good portion of your portfolio should be on ETFs. Just my overall thoughts. And then kind of once you become more familiar with the market, maybe start to diversify a little bit more. Yeah. So, Fizz, have I taken a look at MSCI? I have not. Aaron, let me answer your questions first. And Polly, I missed so many things, guys. I appreciate the support. Sam Adams, I did see that. Polly, they were down a bit. Really, Meta's not available on your broker right now? That's insane. SB, I would have added a lot there. Thanks, anyways. I really like Meta right now. But let's see. So, Aaron, I know you were looking at. I know you posted a comment on Gravity in the video. Hey Jose, I was looking into Gravity. Am I right in saying that there are no projections from them? I could see anything online on their quarterly reports. Another thing, I can't find info on their insider holdings. Yeah, so I don't think they gave projections. Fizz is one that enjoys Gravity a lot, Aaron. So definitely, if you are in the Discord, Fizz is one to kind of talk to. I hope he still owns his shares. But most of their games are coming out in the second half of the year. They are also trying to expand into outside games out of Ragnarok. I know they did the MLB. They did not an MLB. They did a baseball game, I think, in Japan. So they're kind of expanding. I really like how when I looked at App Annie, they were in the overall top grossing. I'm sure you saw that in the video. I know you watched it, Aaron. Another thing, I haven't really found too much of insider holding at the moment either, Aaron. Yeah. So James, I mean that's great. I think it's hard to explain something like that. How much do you recommend for ETF? 10K, 20K, James? I mean everybody has different financial abilities, right? So 10K for somebody might be a lot. 10K for someone else might be a little bit. So it's always perspective. Personally, like let's say if it was my parents, who don't invest much, who don't know much about the market, ETFs are I kind of manage their portfolios, but even though I manage it, I only do ETFs for them, and they are I think most over 80% of their portfolios are ETFs only. I think the only individual stocks that they own are my tier 1 stocks, which would be like Nvidia, Unity, C Limited, and Gravity. I mean, I do think a good, especially for starting off, like I said, for my parents, I want to say like 90% of their stock portfolio is probably ETFs. For my brother as well, even though he's much younger. Again, it all depends what you feel comfortable. Remember, James, if you are starting off, market is very, very volatile. Very, very volatile. And stock prices go up and down, and you're only gonna know when things go down because everybody's talking about it, right? You're gonna hurt the most. The best thing I want to say is if you have $10,000, how I personally would play would be $1,000 like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks or so. So I don't put all my money to work at the same time and kind of dollar cost average in. Same thing, Jose. I recommend just ETFs for my friends. Got to grow your money somehow. Exactly, right, Danny? I mean, I think ETFs are probably the best ways. Risk Gravity doesn't give projections. They don't have earnings calls either. It's just quarterly reports for IR. I don't believe they have much insider ownerships, and the parent company owns 59%. I haven't sold any Gravity and recently added a bit at 101. 10 to 13% of your portfolio. Awesome, Biz. Thank you for that. 10 PE is pretty low for a gaming company, and they're growing their earnings at pretty nice clips, and the price to sales ratio is less than 2. Not many gaming companies can say that for sure. James, would you recommend Apple? Interesting, right? Apple is one that I don't own in my portfolio. I mean, I think some of these big players like Apple, Microsoft are ones I obviously can go down. Not going to probably provide the strongest returns, but ones that might provide a ease of mind. Doesn't mean I recommend, right? I'm not a professional, James, so I don't recommend any real stocks. I just kind of give my overall opinions. If my parents were like, hey, Jose, do you think I should buy some Apple? I'll be like, yeah, I mean, if you want to feel comfortable, that company, it's a strong company. If you want to have some exposure into it, why not? Which is your largest holding? James, my largest holding is NVIDIA. That is my #1 position. But I bought in at a lower, cheaper price. At the moment, I don't think it... Personally, me, at the moment, I wouldn't buy as much as I did before. But that could just be me because I bought in at a cheaper price. RM knows it, NVIDIA. It's my #1. It roughly holds about, I think now, about 10 to 11% of my portfolio. My friend literally put 10K into SPY. I was surprised how much my push did it for him. Wish he scaled in instead, though. Not right. I mean, and sometimes, right, I personally like dollar cost averaging in, especially if you're in the United States, have no fees for trading. Put money every other week or every week is better than putting. I personally believe it's better than putting a big chunk at once. And guys, it is 11 o'clock. I have to go and work on some video, guys. Appreciate the support. Thank you for everybody for coming through. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I missed the stock, my apologies. Hint, hint, if you are a member, I do take a look at your stocks first. But guys, take care. If not, you guys will eventually get hit. So Sergio, 17 in Netherlands. So take care, guys. Appreciate the support and see you tomorrow. If you guys want me to take a look at any earnings, feel free to let me know on the comments or any of my videos. And also see you on Discord. It is on the link. You guys should see the link somewhere around here for Discord.